Well, good morning, good afternoon. How are you? Welcome to another stream, and hello, friends. Glad you could glad you could join again. I thought I would start off by a little picking and grinning before we get started into doing some drawings. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Chad. Good morning, Rob. Yeah, I'm actually playing the guitar, and it should be obvious that it's not canned music because of all the mistakes. All right. Back on the wall. Yesterday was a lot of fun. If you were part of the stream yesterday, I ended up drawing, maybe 5 avatars, and it was pretty awesome. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the feedback. I enjoyed the people, interacting and talking about things. And good morning, Russell. Glad you could join me on Facebook. That is really awesome and cool. I hope this is entertaining and educational for you and for all of you that are joining on the stream. Let's see how and that's what I would love to do again today, is to draw some more avatars. However, no one has sent me any photos yet. After my announcement that I was going to go and start streaming again today. So now's your opportunity. For the foreseeable future, anytime I'm doing a stream, and if I'm saying, hey, send me a photo and I'll draw it, that's free. Normally I charge anywhere from $20 to $75, depending on the type of illustration and drawing that I do for folks. So, this is your opportunity for um, Russell says, sending one now. Lol. All right. Well, um, I'd be glad to draw something for you, Russell. Um, so excited to have this opportunity again. This is a lot. So, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm taking the week off, and this is, drawing is one of the things that I do to recharge and relax. And so, this is part of my stay home vacation this week is spending some time drawing, and I hope to get people interested in picking up drawing for themselves. I want to reiterate, as I do always, that I didn't start doing this until a few years ago, and just with any skill, like learning a language, learning a musical instrument, learning to um, do something creative, do something. Um, it all takes time and practice and dedication. I believe anyone can do this. If you have, the desire, and for years I had the desire, but I didn't take action on it, and I wish I had. I wish I'd started doing this uh, a long time ago, or back when I used to doodle in school. I wish I had never stopped. So I want to encourage you that if this is something you want to do, or if there's something else in your life that when you see that someone else doing that thing, you think, man, I wish I could do that. And you think to yourself that you can't. I'm saying you can. Now, realistically, maybe, you know, I'm not going to play basketball like Michael Jordan. All right. That's just not going to happen. But if I had the desire, I could geek out about basketball and learn to play the game, learn to play, learn the rules and have a lot of fun and enjoy it. You know, I don't have to be a professional player, but I can enjoy it. Maybe bowling's more my speed, or pool. Um, you know, I don't have to be, on ESPN doing any of those things, but I can learn it and I can enjoy it. And that's the way I feel about drawing and music and so many other things that you may feel like um, that you can't do those things. And I'm saying, yes, you can. It just takes time and patience, practice, and a little bit of um, forgiveness. Forgiving yourself because, we all stink at the thing that we want to get better at for a long, sometimes for a long time until we start to really realize how much progress we're making. Ah, let's see. Yeah, Jordan didn't have a beard, so he didn't have that slowing him down. Maybe if I shaved, I would be more aerodynamic and could jump like Michael Jordan. I don't know. It's possible, right? Good morning, Mr. Groves. Good to see you on the stream. Good morning, Rambling Geek. Um, that's a fine avatar you got there. That's pretty cool. Let's see. So here is my drawing setup, and as I said before, this is your opportunity um, for me to draw you an avatar. Over the next hour or so, um, I'm going to draw hopefully some avatars. If not, I'll draw some other things if I need to fill in some time. But if you want me to draw your avatar, I am offering this today special offer in the next, buy now in the next 40 minutes and it's free. Um, send me a photo, and you can, yes, you can reply to my tweet on Twitter. I am Reverend Geek everywhere. Reverend Geek on Twitter, Reverend Geek on Instagram, well, maybe not Facebook. Um, my website, reverendgeek.com. If you want to send me an email, it's david at reverendgeek.com. And yep, there's the address right there. If you go to twitter.com/reverendgeek, my direct messages are open. You can send me a private message, or you can send me or reply to one of my latest tweets on about this stream, and you can send me a photo. Do it now. And the first one has just come in. Corey has sent me a picture, and let's take a look. There we go. So, save this photo. And what I typically do is I will crop any said photo, because most of the avatars that I create for people are what I call floating head avatars. I just draw the head. Now I do sometimes draw um, uh, head and shoulders or any other kind of special requests. But the bread and butter is the head, floating head. As you can see, there's other floating heads here. Just a sneak peek. If we run out of material in the next hour or so, I may draw a project that I've been thinking about him for my son, who is turning, well, his birthday is tomorrow. One of my sons is having a birthday tomorrow, and he likes llamas, and he plays piano. So I'm thinking, I hope he's not watching, but I'm thinking about drawing a llama that is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I think that'll be cool. So maybe later on in the stream we will we'll work on that project. All right. So Procreate is my drawing tool of choice for our app of choice for doing avatars these days. And of course, the question I get asked a lot is, what do I use for drawing? And that is, I've got an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil. You don't have to have an iPad Pro to do good drawings. The latest generation of iPads support the Apple Pencil and are fantastic devices. So for as little as maybe $430, you can have probably the best drawing experience on the planet right now, as far as digital art goes. Um, so I highly recommend it. And then you could find, as long as it's in an iPad that's been within the last year, these all support the Apple Pencil. So maybe you could find one used as well. Kids can have a whole lot of fun with them. All right, so I'm going to go to my Twitch bundle here, create a new avatar size canvas. So I just have a canvas that is a perfectly square, 3,000 by 3,000 pixels. And so when you create a new drawing, you just have the one layer in the background. So depending on the type of drawing I'm going to create, I know that, like, if I'm just doing a black and white sketch, I'll only use maybe a couple of layers. But if I'm going to do a color drawing, then I will usually start out by creating 11 layers. That's just kind of what works for me. So somewhere around layer 8, I will add my photo. And got Corey here. And as I've mentioned before on previous streams, there is no shame in tracing. This is how I start a lot of my drawings, and it helps me to go faster. Otherwise, I'd spend I don't know how much time just trying to get a face set up with the correct dimensions and everything, just trying to use, without tracing. I'd be better off doing caricatures, you know, where because I am not going to get proportions correct. So I'll add that, and then I'll duplicate it and stick another reference in the corner, because once I get the line art down, then I'll hide the big photo and then just do everything else by looking at the reference photo in the corner. So another thing I do is I tap on this letter N next to the layer and change the opacity. So I'll put it down to around 50 or 60%. And that way, the tracing works a little bit better. And then I'll choose the layer directly above the photos to draw on. Yep. So the Apple Pencil is fantastic. It attaches magnetically to the top of the screen and charges that way. Something I forgot to do yesterday was to wear my drawing glove, and it didn't bother me too much, but there were a couple of times when, I was drawing something, and I accidentally, Procreate thought I was doing a 2-finger tap, which is the undo. And so I lost a couple of the things that I was drawing. Just kind of a bummer. Doesn't always happen, but the drawing glove not only, keeps that from happening, but it feels good. It slides on the surface pretty well. Let's see. Draw Buck Goldberg in the Hanna-Barbera art style. Sometimes I do try to mimic a style. I've done a few where I try to copy other people's style just to see what things I can learn from that process. I'll just give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I played around with doing some things that were in the Animal Crossings art style. And so I created, I ran a little contest, and, it's typically of how I kind of force myself into doing things is, run a contest. And that gives me the opportunity to really try some things out. So I drew this guy, and I tried to do it in the kind of loosely based on the Animal Crossing style, but without using the Animal Crossing type graphics. So some of them turned out pretty good. I was pleased. Another drawing that I did a while back that was in a different style than what I normally do, and is this. So there's a guy who's famous in the developer community who does drawings for events like Star Trek. And so all the speakers at an event get one of his drawings. And somebody asked me to draw an avatar to mimic his style. Apparently, he wasn't available to do a drawing, and they wanted this specific style to match another drawing of another person. So it's like they're doing a podcast or something like that. So, um, uh, yeah, so I matched that style, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I did add a little bit of my own personal touches to it, but I might try to do some more of these in the future, or at least pick up a few of the techniques that are in this type of drawing. It was fun. My first attempt was more like this, and even though it looks interesting, didn't look like the guy that I was trying to draw. Um, and yeah, so in addition to floating heads, I do the head and shoulders type stuff sometimes if somebody requests. Um, and I do um, I do special requests like special. This is um, a special request that wearing a particular kind of outfit, and this person wanted a logo for their hair salon and wanted to have hair in the shape of the continent of Africa. And this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of back and forth to nail down the exact look that she wanted. But in the end, it turned out pretty good. Um, all right, so back to Buck Goldberg. I have no idea who that is. If you want to, I can't click on this link directly where I am right now, but if you want to send me a photo and maybe a reference of a Hanna-Barbera style that you like and want to put that either an email or on Twitter. My email address is david at reverentgeek.com. I'll take a look and, see if I really want to try to tackle that or not. I love a good challenge. So maybe we can do that. And good morning, everyone. Good morning, um, folks. Good morning, Sean. Um, and let's get to drawing. Just why you're here, right? So use my bold inker, and normally when I start a new drawing, I'll start with the eyes. If a person's wearing glasses, I'll start with the glasses first and then go to the eyes. And what I'm doing is just using the pressure sensitivity of the pen to give, to do some different kinds of strokes. So, these are a little bit thicker strokes, adding a little bit of pressure, and then the ones above are thin. So if I draw really light, it's a thin stroke. If I draw, with more pressure, it creates a thicker stroke. Um, the hardware of the iPad and the Apple Pencil is fantastic. Gives me a lot of control over the strokes that 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 I draw. So the next thing I'll do a lot of times, this is a kind of a new thing for me, is instead of just tracing over the eyes, I will go to another layer and draw a circle. So when you draw a circle and then hold it in place, and don't lift the pen off the surface, then it snaps into a shape. This is a quick shape, or whatever they call it, feature in Procreate. And if you press one finger on the screen, it changes from an oval to a perfect circle. So this is me kind of cheating at drawing perfect circles. And what I'll do is I'll make the circle a little bit bigger than the actual eye in the photo. And this is a, you know, in when you're doing a cartoon style, some things get exaggerated bigger, some things get exaggerated smaller. And eyes are one thing that, when you're doing cartooning, that you may want to exaggerate a little bit bigger. So let me use the move tool to kind of center that up over the eye. And then what I'll do is I'll duplicate that same circle for consistency and move it over the top of the other eye. Then I'll pinch and merge those two layers together. I'll erase the parts that I don't need. Whoops, erased a little too much. And then I will merge those layers together. And then I'll draw some triangles for the pupils. Seems to work. This is another technique of mine that seems to work better than trying to draw a circle pupil or something like that in the middle of the eye. Sometimes, depending on like the expression, if it's a big wide-eyed expression, then I'll draw a rectangle or square or some shape in the center of the eye to match, where it's supposed to be. But eyes are so like our brains are so wired to recognize facial features, and eyes in particular. And the triangle shape for whatever reason seems to work, especially as a drawing gets smaller. That shape seems to hold up and look, um, you know, look aesthetically pleasing, I think. Whereas if it's a square or something in the middle, if it's not perfect, then your brain is instantly going to say that that's not right. Um, our brains are pretty amazing pieces of technology. Um, that's why we hear this thing called the Uncanny Valley in technology, like with robots and so forth. The closer we try to get to what looks real, then the more revolting it gets. We have a really strong reaction to something that looks really close to human, but it's not human. Same goes for CGI graphics in movies and so forth, as they try to get better and better at recreating humans. And, just one of those things, this is where you want it to be more cartoonish than it is realistic, because if you can't nail the realism, then you have a strong negative reaction to it. Sean, I can't really help you. So sorry to hear that. All right. So eyes and then eyebrows. Corey's got some really thin eyebrows, so I'll draw them pretty thin and not too heavy. Um, my personal style is I'll usually draw eyebrows really thick and exaggerated, but maybe in Corey's case I won't do that. So maybe I'll try this one again to make it a little bit more symmetrical. Like one thing I could do if I wanted perfect symmetry between eyebrows is I could select and copy this and flip it and move it over here. The thing is, in the real world, there's not, even though our faces are fairly symmetrical, things like eyebrows um, are not perfectly exactly the same on both sides of your head. Like, I don't know, mine doesn't, you know, look perfectly symmetrical. So not everybody, they look similar, but they're not exactly the same. Eh, I don't like either one of those. Let's try again. So if I'm looking at this reference photo from a distance, it's kind of like this eyebrow is up just a tad bit more than the other. And so, to get a cartoonish look out of this drawing, then that might be the thing to do, is just draw this one slightly raised. All right, next is the nose. So I'll usually draw a line, and depending on the type of nose, um, I may do one continuous line, or I may break it up and put the nostrils separate. I don't know. It just depends on how I feel when I'm looking at someone's photo. And again, um, looking at both photos, when I'm drawing the mouth, it looks like Corey's mouth is, kind of. I mean, I'm sorry, Corey. I don't mean any offense. This is all me being I try to inject some fun and comedy into my drawings and everything that I do. So when I'm doing these, I'm not poking fun at anyone's face. I'm just trying to find the and just exaggerate just slightly some of the facial features that I see. I don't want to do a caricature. Um, Someday I might get into caricature drawing and be, really outrageous with exaggeration. But for now, I'm just wanting to. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like, yeah, that kind of works. I was not sure if it would, but that looks pretty good. I'm gonna kind of center this up a little bit better. All right. So one thing I've learned about drawing so many of these over time is line art is really important for this style. Not all styles use a black line art as a basis, but for my style, what I've learned is less is more. So there's only certain facial features that I want to draw in black. If I try to draw everything that I see in black and then color it later, it's just not going to look good. Um, Especially when drawing female faces. Um, Female faces, definitely less is more, and that's been a hard lesson to learn for me because when I first started drawing, my inclination was to just draw everything I see, and that doesn't always turn out very good. The contrast is too much and too sharp a lot of times, and it has a negative effect, like making a person look too old or making a person look too masculine if it's a female face. There's just a lot of things that I've learned over time that based on based on feedback, sometimes I can spot something like that as I'm drawing it and say, that's just not working. But sometimes it takes me sending a drawing back to someone and that person say, no, this this is garbage, and I do what I can and to fix it and to learn from uh, that feedback. Yes. All right. Let me answer a few questions before I get further. How do we get a hold of you if we'd like to commission a paid drawing? If you want to pay for one, I will gladly um, accept that. So you go to my website, reverentgeek.com, and I've got a shop link. Um, I can probably even share that. So if you go to my website, reverentgeek.com, there is a link at the top for store, and under store, you can commission a drawing. I've got several styles that you can choose from. If there's something there that you don't like or something different that you want done, then you can, send me an email, david at reverentgeek.com, and do it that way. And some of you are answering these questions for me, and that's fantastic. Thank you for helping me out. Um, and let's see. Continuing on. So next I will usually do the ears. Followed by the head. Trying to get this. Now the chin is something that, as I mentioned before, like with the eyes sometimes you exaggerate um, bigger. The chin a lot of times, and the jaw. The what I mean is the jaw and the chin. Um, those, it's good to err on the side of being smaller rather than larger. Because if you don't, then a lot of times it may look like makes the face look too big, um, or something like that. So it's a little more flattering to kind of stay under. So that looks pretty good. And as far as line art goes, that's it. That's all the line art that I'm going to do there. So now I'll go down to the very bottom layer and start layering up uh, colors. Um, uh, so make it look so easy. Well, uh, yeah, this is part of the magic of having done this so many times and learned these techniques is that I know, the pressure to add to a stroke. I know, from trial and error what things work and what doesn't. I have these just like in computer programming. Okay, for those of you who are in on the stream who know me from my computer programming background, um, in software, there are patterns, right? We adopt patterns. We use frameworks, and there's all these tools in our tool belt that we can use to say when we recognize a particular problem, we say, oh, well, the facade problem or facade pattern would work well here, or a decorator, or um, you know, we're going to apply, you know, the Liskov principle. I'm failing to think of the patterns. But anyway, in art, there are other, I've learned certain patterns that work and that don't work. So when I see a particular facial feature that I have drawn in the past, then I think, oh, I've seen this pattern before. I can just apply that stroke pattern. Strategy factory. Yeah. Um, Uh, Stick figures are extremely powerful. I still use stick figures in a lot of the illustrations that I do for talks that I give, just because there's so much expression you can do with action and emotion and um, you know there's just all kinds of possibilities, and it doesn't take a whole lot to express a lot of information with just using stick figures. All right, back to the drawing. I'll start with a base skin color, and I don't have to be super duper accurate except around the edges of the face, but I will kind of fill this in. And what you saw me do there is drag. There's the color dot up here, and I can drag that color onto anywhere of the screen. Like if I drag it over here, it's going to fill the entire page with that color. So that's a really nice quick tip for Procreate. It's one of the reasons why I like Procreate. Then I'll come up to the next layer above that and do colors. So we got, brown, maybe a little bit reddish brown on the eyebrows and hair. So we'll start with that. Just use a generic brown color to start with. I may tweak it or maybe not. While I'm doing this, Corey, hopefully you're still watching, let me know what your eye color is, because it's almost impossible, usually, unless it is a well lit professional photo, and a photo that's like really high resolution. It's almost impossible to really accurately see what color someone's eyes are. That's why I ask every time um, to, when someone commissions a drawing from me, one of the first things I always ask is, or in the confirmation email, when you send me a photo, tell me what your eye color is. While I'm waiting on that, I'll draw in the whites of the eyes and teeth. Told that they're green, but some days they're blue. All right, that's not unusual. So usually what I do is I'll start with a light green, and then take a a darker blue and kind of put that at the center. You know, that doesn't look great right now, but if I take a smudge tool and kind of, well, that's not a really good smudge tool. Let me see. Um, no, I don't use smudging a lot, so I don't know what's good and what's not. But the smudge tool uses the same pens. So sometimes I'll do that and I'll kind of blend them in together, but I'm not getting a good result with that at the moment. So I'll just undo these smudges and go back and choose a darker green. Maybe do a hint of blue in the very center. And then I'll take my white again, go one layer above the line art and draw a couple of reflections on the eyes. And that makes those reflections make a big difference in, making eyes work. Um, like I said, our brains really recognize facial features, and naturally, there's, because our eyes are kind of glassy looking, there's always some type of reflection from light on our eyes. All right. So now all the base colors are down, and then this is where the magic starts to happen. I will go ahead and set two of these layers to multiply mode, and I'll choose that darker skin tone. Fill that in. Get the nose. Fill in some of the ears. And most of the time, I will kind of mimic the same thing on this side. Um, but I'm wondering if I might make this a highlight instead. I think I'm going to try that. So I'm going to leave that blank for now. Going to add just a little bit here for the cheeks. You know, like when you smile, you get these lines on the cheeks. So that really helps to, you know, that detail, depending on the person's face and how prominent their cheeks are, helps with making them look less grumpy. Because if a lot of times, if I'm not too careful, I will make someone look not as happy as they probably are. And so this is pretty much it for the darker skin tone layer. So I'll go to the layer above that, and this will be my shadow and hair detail layer. So I'll add a shadow under the nose, you know, a little bit of shadow under some of the details just to make those stand out even more. And then, you know, sometimes I'll add a little bit of shadow, depends on the person's eyes. You know, add a little bit of shadow like under the eyelid. Not always, but sometimes add that. And then I'll pick a darker gray to do hair. So like the eyebrows. That. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing that, and then I'm holding, you know, kind of like when I did um, a circle earlier. If I stop and hold, then it turns it into a quick shape, and that makes my points more pointy. Otherwise, it's just, you know, these round humps. So nice little trick that Procreate is able to do. And now I'll do the highlights, which are on the layer above. I'll change that layer to what's called soft light, and then use a white. And let's try that again. So it makes it look like that light source is coming in from, you know, this right hand side. Now add highlight to the nose, and cheek. Upper lip. And the chin. And that's pretty much it. All done but the signature. What do you think, Corey? Did I do okay? Does it look kind of like you? Is it passable? Hope you didn't have to drop. All right, so I'm going to save this. And I will send this to you after the stream is over. Or hey, why not? I'll just send it to you now. So here's your email, or here's your post. Here you go. All right. Anyone else? I think I got a message from someone off on where did that go? I saw a notification earlier. Maybe it was on Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Nope. So, Russell, I think I saw a message from you earlier about doing a drawing of you, but I can't seem to track it down. I don't know if it was an email or something on Facebook, but I can't seem to find it at the moment. So help me out. A text message. Well, let's see. Who's the guy in the beard? I mean, the beard, right? And I see this is you, but who is this guy? So I'm going to crop Russell's face. Try to anyway. It's a little dark, not going to lie. Sometimes that can pose a challenge. So I think I'm going to do this one as a sketch. set the opacity. And I'm just going to do this one as a quick sketch style, kind of more closer to oh, you want me to do Nick instead? All right, well, I can do that. I like drawing beards. It's not that I'm partial to beards. You know, I have one. It's just beards are fun to draw. Um, they're relatively easy to draw. So I need to go back to your message, save the photo again, create a different crop. Duplicate this, stick it in the corner for reference, change the opacity of this one, and now I'm going to have some fun. So in this case, I'm going to start with a hat. And followed by the glasses. The nose. And pretty much it's just all beard from here. Maybe a hint of an ear. And let's see. Yes, Ben, this is me hard at work. I am earning the dollars as we speak. Nope. This is my hobby. Would be awesome to make my living of it. I don't know if you've seen Madagascar 2, but it's got the best scene of all times. In my opinion, my humble opinion. But it is King Julian, and he says, if I only had a week to live, I think it's a week, maybe 2 weeks. Anyway, if I only had a week to live, I would become a professional whistler. I'm pretty amazing at it now, but I would get even better and make my living of it. Ah, yes, make my living of it. That's what I would do. So, beard. Let's, instead of it being all wind-swept, let's just make it contained. like that, right? How's that? It's pretty sweet, if I do say so. Now, add some colors. Let's see, the facial hair is, I see a hint of brown. So I'm going to go with that. Kind of a reddish brown, so maybe maybe somewhere on this spectrum. Yes, that'll do it. And Russell, I hope your friend is very has a sense of humor, let's say. I'm just trying to get this to a point where I can fill it in. And see, the glasses are blue. So let's pick a blue color over here. Fill those in. We got the straw hat that's kind of this tan color. Got a red band across the top here. And then there's a blue. Let's use that same shade of blue. I mean, could just ignore this patch, but maybe the patch means something to, otherwise, why would he have a hat that doesn't have, the patch has got to mean something to this person, right? So even though I'm not going to try to recreate the entire patch, I do want to show that it's there. So we got our base colors now, and then we'll have some fun with a couple of multiply layers. So we'll start with, some hint of skin. Like so. And then start adding some shadow. So probably we'll go even darker under here. But I just want to add kind of the initial shadow layer. It's under this hat. And the glasses. Maybe add a little bit of shadow on this side of the hat. And under the logo, or this patch, give that patch, a little bit of dimension. And then I'll add another multiply layer, and this will be for the beard. Like so. While I'm here, I'll just go ahead and use this darker gray on the same layer. Add some more depth shadow to the hat. And to the glasses. And yeah, I'm going to say, for this particular drawing, for this particular style, I'm going to say it's done. And share that. And let's see, where was I? Russell, you can do with this what you will. Boom. Hope you like it. All right. Take a moment for a coffee break. All right. What else would you folks like to see? We're 45 minutes in. We've got 2 drawings. We can draw some more stuff. If you want to send me a tweet with an image, or send me an email, david@reverentgeek.com. I can, we're here. Let's draw. What else would you folks like to see me draw today? I mean, now I realize I started at 9:30, so an hour and 15 minutes. So that's a pretty good drawing session. I mean, we could call it here. Be done. If no one has anything else they would like to see. Do 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 do. Any comments? Any questions I can answer for you before we wrap it up? Well, apparently this is the owner of the beard and they like the drawing. So cool. Glad to hear. Yeah, thank you. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, Clark, and uh, I'm glad I'm able to get folks like you on the stream who are enjoying it and giving me feedback and having a good time with this because I this is a whole lot of fun for me. It's therapeutic. Um, Good morning, Sarah. It's good to see you. I hope you and Chris and the family are doing well. Um, and yeah, having a little fun with drawing a large beard this morning. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you are liking the drawings. I appreciate that. Anything else before we wrap up? Any questions that you have about some of the drawings that I've done in the past? Um, I've got these drawings that I've done from streams um, previously, like how I do um, some ideas around sketch notes, um, how I use Procreate. I did some drawings the other day, like this nice little quick doodle sketch. I did some of those Animal Crossing style avatars recently. Um, Anything else I can impart with you folks before I give you the rest of your day back? Well, all right. As always, I want to let you know that you have amazing potential to impact your world, your community, your family in positive ways. I want you to take the things that you're learning and geeking out about, and it's not only that you grow and that you get excited and passionate about some things that bring you joy to your life, but I want to encourage you to share those things with others. Because, like it or not, we are designed to live in community, and people will know who we are by the way that we share and the way that we show love. And one of the ways we can share and show love is just to share our talents and abilities and things that we're learning with other people. Whether or not we are masters at any of the things that we do, that's that's irregardless. Yes, I love that word. That is not even a real word. Uh, Regardless of your skill level, you can share the things that you're doing, and there's always people who will appreciate uh, whatever, wherever you are in your journey, with whatever information you can share. So get out there and you do amazing things in your world, and I hope that you have a blessed day and rest of your week. Until next time, my friends, see you soon.